All right, today we're cracking open the case files on a seriously hidden underworld, a microscopic one. We're going to go on a hunt for 5 of the most notorious intruders that can actually set up shop inside a host. So welcome to the Rogues Gallery.
You know, it's a kind of unsettling thought, isn't it? That our bodies aren't just ours. They're these whole ecosystems. So, who exactly are these unseen tenants? Today, we're putting 5 of the most wanted under the microscope.
So here's our lineup of suspects. We're going to investigate each one, their unique MO, their favorite hideouts, and even the accomplices they need to pull off their mission. Let's get started with case file number 1.
First up, we've got Schistosoma. This is a tiny worm with a very specific address inside the human body, which is how it earned its nickname, the Vein Dweller.
You know, every organism has its spot, right? Its perfect environment. And for this parasite, it's not just anywhere in the body. Oh no, it has a very particular and kind of surprising place it calls home. So any guesses where it settles down?
That's right, the tiny veins surrounding the large intestine. Now here's the clever part. This super strategic location lets the adult worms lay their eggs right where they can be passed out of the body. It's the perfect setup to keep their complicated life cycle going. A really smart move, even if it is from a very unwelcome guest.
Okay, on to our next suspect, Toxoplasma. This one's pretty famous for its interesting relationship with a very common pet. That's why we've nicknamed it the cat connection.
So just like a lot of masterminds, Toxoplasma can't complete its mission alone. It absolutely relies on a specific accomplice to grow up and reproduce. And to figure out who this partner in crime is, we need to understand a key term first.
Right, so the definitive host. This is super important. It isn't just a place for the parasite to crash. It's the only place where it can sexually reproduce and make the next generation. It's the absolute final, most essential step in its life cycle. And boom, there's our answer, the cat. So while other animals like us humans or even pigs can get infected, we're just temporary stops along the way, what we call intermediate hosts. The cat is the one and only place where Toxoplasma can complete its sexual reproduction. It's a totally fascinating example of how a parasite can be completely dependent on just one species to survive.
Now for our third case file, Leishmania. This parasite is known for the, well, dramatic and very visible impact it has on the internal organs of its host. It's definitely earned its name, the organ sweller. When this parasite moves in, it does not stay quiet. It leaves behind a very distinct set of clues, a signature calling card, if you will, that points directly to it. So, what are the telltale signs that it's in town?
Its calling card is a disease called Visceral Leishmaniasis, and the name itself gives you a big hint, right? Visceral refers to your internal organs, and that's exactly where this parasite does its worst damage.
And here are those calling cards we were talking about. The infection causes the liver and spleen to get dangerously swollen. That's what hepatomegaly and splenomegaly mean. You add a constant fever and a serious drop in all your blood cell counts to the mix, and you've got a truly nasty adversary on your hands. All right, let's move on to our fourth subject. And this is a name you might actually recognize. Taenia saginata, or as it's more commonly known, the beef tapeworm. Its name gives away part of the story, but definitely not the whole picture.
So getting from the outside world all the way into a human host, that takes a critical step. There has to be an intermediary. To really understand its secret journey, we need to look at another type of host entirely.
So unlike the definitive host, the intermediate host is basically a temporary home. It's where the parasite hangs out and develops in its larval stage, just waiting for a chance to get transferred to its final destination where it can finally mature.
And this slide just lays it all out so clearly. For our suspect, Taenia saginata, the beef tapeworm, the intermediate host is cattle. Then humans become the definitive host when they eat undercooked beef that has those little larvae in it. And you can see the table neatly contrasts this with its cousin, the pork tapeworm, which just uses pigs as its intermediary instead.
And that brings us to our final case file for today, Echinococcus. This parasite is known less for what it does directly and more for the dangerous structures it actually builds inside its host. We call it the cyst former.
The impact of this intruder can be really long-lasting and totally hidden. It creates something that can just grow silently for years, becoming a serious threat. So, what is this dangerous legacy? Its legacy is a condition called Hydatid disease. Basically, the parasite's larval stage develops into these huge, fluid-filled sacs called Hydatid cysts. It's the parasite's bizarre way of surviving and growing inside a host it never even meant to be in. These cysts are caused by the species Echinococcus granulosus, and they most often take root in the liver and the lungs. And here's the thing to really get. Humans are not part of its normal plan. We are accidental hosts, just an unfortunate biological wrong turn for the parasite.
So, as we close these 5 case files, there's a really clear theme popping up, right? The vein dweller, the cat connection, the organ sweller, the beef tapeworm, and the cyst former, they all rely on these incredibly complex and often hidden life cycles, jumping between different species just to survive.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? For every single one of these intricate parasitic relationships we've managed to uncover, how many more are out there, operating completely unseen, shaping the biological world in ways we haven't even begun to understand yet? What else is out there?